morning, Feel Good Talk family. My name is Kendra Moore, and this is Time to Rise and Shine. We are talking about mindset, motivation, and money on this podcast. This is for people who are ready and willing to make a change in their life, to stop making excuses and get into the right mindset to protect and save and grow their money. So I hope you guys are having a good Friday today. Everything is going well with me today. I'm a little dressed today. I'm actually hosting a women's entrepreneur networking event. It's a event in Orlando, Florida. And so I'm excited about that. I'm hosting that this evening, but I have some running around that I need to do. So let's get into this. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news. If you haven't, okay, good luck to you, because we got a lot going on. But one of the biggest things that I want to talk about today is all of these layoffs that are happening. So when you watch the news, you will see that it seems like every week there's an announcement about layoffs. The latest one is Health and Human Services. They're looking to lay off a crazy amount of people. I believe it was like 10,000 employees that they're looking to lay off. Of course, I'm sure you've all heard about the federal workers and, the fork in the road email and federal workers having to decide whether or not to leave their job. And for some, a lot of them being forced out. In addition to that, you also have companies such as, Starbucks. They're laying off people. That came out last week. They're laying off a good amount of their corporate employees. I believe Apple had layoffs. So it's just all around. So companies are really starting to reassess the way that they do things, looking for opportunities to save money, especially in the midst of the kind of turbulent, unknown economic environment that we are finding ourselves in. So I give you all that backstory because it's really important to realize that it is your responsibility to protect yourself. And for those of you who do not know, I am a life insurance and retirement consultant. So I help people understand the value of life insurance and why it is so important to have. And when I look at the environment today, especially with these layoffs, let me ask you this question. What are they going to do about health insurance? What are they going to do about life insurance? Now, a lot of people don't get private life insurance because they're working. And I get it. Your job gives you you're still paying some of it, but your job is giving you a good discount on life insurance, let's say. But one of the things that you have to realize is that life insurance at your job is term life insurance. Term life insurance meaning that when the end of your employment term is up, then you no longer have that life insurance, right? So think about all of these layoffs that are happening. A lot of people are going to be caught off guard. They're not going to be protected because they had nothing in place because they were always dependent on the job. So that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. Whether you get a private term policy, a private permanent policy, it is really important to protect yourself, especially because the older you get, then the more you would pay because you're a little more at risk at stuff happening. But also, the older you get, the more assets you have that you should be able to pay for it. So, but you don't want to wait to get too old in order to get something. So for most people, when you are in the corporate world, you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, prime time, because you likely have less things happening to your body. So in terms of diseases and, all kinds of stuff. So it's less, it's cheaper for you to get when you're younger. The other thing is that your work life insurance is not accumulating value for you. So I mentioned you have term and permanent. Permanent policies tend to create value. This is where a lot of families use it for generational wealth, but also in some term life insurance policies and some permanent, you have what's called living benefits. So these are things that are covered in case you have like a heart attack, a stroke, complication with diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, if you need long-term care planning, all of this stuff. Because let's face it, nobody ever expects to get cancer, right? Think about, I would say like the comment or do some hearts if you know somebody has been diagnosed with cancer, has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, dementia, has been diagnosed or had a heart attack, had a stroke. More than likely those things came as a surprise, right? So no one actually expects to get these things, but we know the rate of chronic diseases and these things happening is getting higher, especially in America. So I say that not to scare you, but to tell you that you have to be prepared, because if something happens at your job cuts you loose, or you decide that you want to leave and start your own business, or become an entrepreneur or switch to another job, you cannot take that life insurance with you. So you are like essentially starting over. So it's really important for you guys, I'll wrap up with this, to pay attention to what's going on in the news and think about if that were to happen to you, how would that affect you? If that were to happen to you, how would that affect you? And plan and make sure you are prepared for it. All right. So I want you guys to take care of yourselves and take care of your finances, and protect yourself. All right. And don't leave it up to the job. Don't leave it up to the government. Get what they're offering because it's nice and it is at a low cost. But again, it's not their responsibility to protect you and your family. It is your responsibility to make sure you have the safeguards in place for your family, for yourself, just in case. All right. All right. So if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the comment section. You can also feel free to follow me on Instagram. I go a little bit more in depth. That is at Kendra More Life. And then you can also find me on TikTok at Kendra.morelife. I believe I have, or Kendra More Life. I can't remember which one it is, but you'll find me there as well. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a great Friday, and let's get it. All right. Talk to you later.